Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And today I'll be reading a Tighnari Listener by me. So let's get into it. Tighnari is really difficult to get through. You've had a crush on him for ages. But he was more of a tsundere than anything. And if there was anything you knew about tsunderes, is that they were difficult. And you couldn't really just get him to actually spend time with you so easily. It was difficult, nerve-wracking even, to talk to him, especially with how sassy he is, and how he did not bullshit anyone. So if he didn't want you, you knew he would say it to your face with no shame or regret. It's not that you want him to regret it, it just makes you nervous, that he might say it in a way that hurts you, and you're not ready to be hurt by the one man that you've been crushing on for months. That's why you're fidgeting, watching him. He looked so beautiful today. Well, he looked beautiful every day, but there was something special about him. He was wearing a different outfit. And this one, oh goodness, it made him too beautiful for your eyes. It almost made you want to kiss him right there and then. But for that, you would have to confess first. And there was no way that you were going to confess. At least not without prior preparations. And that's when you put your plan into motion. You started making breakfast for him and helping him whenever needed, trying to be more helpful and make yourself have time in his own life. You would pack something for him to eat whenever he went to work, giving it to him. And the first time he tasted it, he told you it was great, and he was so grateful that you helped him today. And that's when he began making him food with you every single day. Now, you would share your lunch together and have that fun time, chatting about your days and whatever you wanted. To anyone else, it might be just idle chatting, but for you, it was spending time getting to know more about Tighnari and more about his life, more about the man you loved, the man you've been watching for ages, and the man that you really, really just want to kiss, want to love for the rest of time. Maybe it was a little bit too much for a crush. Maybe it was better to be called a one-sided love. But hopefully, sometime along the way, it won't be so one-sided anymore. And after a few weeks of spending time together like that, you decided it was now or never. It didn't help that your heart would beat so quickly in your chest whenever you saw him. The way it would beat loudly too. It was almost terrifying how you could think he would hear sometimes, even though it was probably unrealistic. But the fear was still there, plaguing you in your mind. Tighnari, I want to go on a date with you, you said. Finally, having prepared yourself for this moment for a week beforehand. You weren't really sure what to expect as a response, but certainly it was not him staring at you for a while, quiet, as if considering what to say, before smiling softly, looking away as if to hide his blush. All right then, I guess we can go. I don't have anything tonight, after all. It was so surprising to see that person who was rejecting your advances towards him for months, so accepting and so nice. Maybe things were not as scary as you initially thought, and you were more than grateful for that. So he nodded, and that's how you ended up here in your room, getting yourself ready, and hopefully waiting to stun him into silence. You are wearing a tight dress, one that suited the atmosphere and fit your body like a bodysuit. And you had shown it to Colleen beforehand, and she told me it was the perfect dress, and Tighnari would be sure to like it. That's why, right now, you were just finishing up putting on your accessories, and heading to the place where you had decided to meet. And there he was, stunning and beautiful as always, making you feel like you just look normal in comparison. But with the way he looked at you, apparently he didn't think that. Wyan, come here, he said, and you slowly walked over to him. Before he cupped your face in his hands, looking at you, before leaning in, giving you a soft kiss. You look magical today, he said, before leaning in to give you another kiss, as you blushed, wrapping your arms around him and melting into it. I think you look even more beautiful than me, Tighnari. Well, there was a reason I did a lot of research back in the days. I think I'd be more accurate. He then smirked, picking you up in his arms, and having you sit on the table. It was only the two of you after all. A secret place where only the two of you knew. It was your date, and you were going to spend the time you had together in any way you wanted. You didn't have to eat right away. But that's why you told him not to get too excited. After all, there's no sense in having dessert before dinner. That's why he agreed with you. The two of you sitting back down and deciding to eat dinner first before you did anything else. And it's safe to say, it didn't just end with you two making out. No, that night, after it was all over and done, he told you he wanted you to go home with him. Maybe he was not a tsundere at all. Maybe he just looked like one on the outside. But knowing what you know now about Tighnari, he was extremely kind, and he loved you so much. And when he loved, he gave a lot of love, affection, and attention. There was nothing he didn't give, because Tighnari was just so kind and lovable. And maybe it had taken you a while to discover the real him, the one that was not influenced just by watching him from afar. When you talked with him and saw him for who he really was, you felt yourself love him more and more. And the same could be said for him too. And if Colleen has to take over for a day, just because the two of you are spending time together the next day after your date, then it's fine. You'll make it up to her somehow. But for now, the two of you are enjoying yourselves.